君のためにとか信じてるよなんてそんな無責任な優しさはいらない時にするの永遠で痛みを伴うけどそんな言葉が強くするんだ汗何度もプライドをぶつけて進めばいいさ
Gundam Breaker 3 is the latest installment to the Gundam Breaker series, and with the new addition it offers since Gundam Breaker 2, it ultimately makes building Gunpla a more enjoyable experience. The game is only available on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita, and with the title being on the PlayStation 4, a PlayStation Plus membership is required to play online with your friends. Unfortunately, this time around, instead of actually adding a lot more Gunpla like they did in the previous title, they instead decided to make customization in the game a lot more fun and interesting. By using parts known as builder parts, you're able to take recognizable parts such as the G and shield bits from Cherudum and use it to give yourself shield bits in combat by using it in an option equipment slot. This, by the way, is where all of the attacks attached to each individual part is stored and can be accessed by pressing them on the D-pad. In addition to builder parts allowing the player to access more option equipment attacks, you can also attach parts such as a GN drive to grant you access to the iconic ability Trans Am from Gundam 00. Builder parts such as this is great because if you for some reason don't actually have Exia's GN drive or any GN drive for that matter, you can just buy this and you can now use Trans Am. One of the best experiences that I've had from using builder parts was making a custom new Gundam build that was equipped with a truckload of funnels. It's pretty sick how you can have so many funnels on individual parts and builder parts combined and then use them to swarm the enemy. Even the duration / cooldown rate / damage for the funnels together can be modified just by using affixes, which makes this method for a build actually fairly optimal. As for the limitations for the builder parts system, you can have a maximum capacity of 7 builder parts slots in total, and each individual builder part that you equip takes up a certain amount away from the maximum capacity, so make sure whatever you equip to your Gunpla complements your suit fairly well. Personally, the builder parts is one of the highlights in terms of customization for me when I play through the game. It was just so fun making my own quote-unquote full armor version of a suit by slapping on a bunch of unnecessary Gatling guns, cannons, and bits onto my Gunpla. And speaking of full armor, it's really disappointing that full armor unicorn isn't actually in this game. I'd assume many fans would love to have that suit in the game, but I guess this time around the unicorn fans are out of luck. However, they did indeed add the full armor Gundam for one of my favorite Gundam series, Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolts, and they've even added Daryl Zaku with a reused P device backpack, which by the way fires on its own and is of course huge as shit. So are you guys ready for probably one of the coolest changes they've done since Breaker 2 to the EX attacks? Well, in Breaker 3, when you max out an EX attack, you've then mastered it and it can now be used on any build that you like. So let's say you're a new scrub that just bought the game and got Exia's backpack to drop in one of the missions early on in the game, and then equip his GN drive and use Trans Am enough times to eventually max it out. After doing all of this, you can now use Trans Am on any build that you make in the future due to it being a maxed out EX attack. So if you wanted, you can master NTD, Trans Am, Exam System, Hades, and let his suit activate all of those changes. However, you will probably make your DPS complete shit, but you'll at least look pretty edgy. In addition to gaining global use of EX attacks after mastering them, you can now also master burst attacks as well, so you could master the Moonlight Butterfly from turn A and give it to the legendary RX-78-2 if you really wanted to. Something cool about the burst attacks this time around is that certain ones such as the Freedom Gundam's burst allows you to use builder parts that are attached to your Gunpla so that they will actually aid you in DPS when you use your burst attack. So if you maxed out all of your breaker parts slots with ranged weapons, then you could only imagine how many beams will be unleashed. Things like this would make Kira Yamato pretty happy if he were actually real. In terms of painting in Gundam Breaker 3, things didn't really change that much this time around. It's still the same for the most part. You can paint in different sectors of a specific part, such as a Gundam head, and give color to different positions such as the eyes or the main camera. If using a suit that has the ability to turn into NTD using any unicorn variant parts, you can change the color of the NTD. Camos can also be applied to your Gunpla in addition to standard colors. If you would like, you can even create a custom blend of color to your desire and save it into a slot for future copy and paste business. Emblems can also be applied to pretty much every part as well, even on something such as a beam saber where you'll most likely won't even notice it in game anyways. There's not really much I can personally complain about in regards to the paint system. Some hate it for its simplicity, but I'm okay with it for the most part. If they choose to implement a more in-depth coloring system into the next Breaker game, then I'm sure some of the dissatisfied players will be pleased. One of the most exciting things about Breaker 3 for me personally was the upgrade system it offers. There are 4 types of upgrade choices you can pick, such as pair merge that allows you to fuse an existing part with a part that you want to destroy in order to transfer its stored affixes onto your existing parts. Plastic merge is an option that allows you to level a part by spending different tiers of plastic that you earn throughout the game, and also allows you to use cubes that you find as well to apply special stats to the selected part. Package merge is an option that essentially allows you to get rid of the same parts in order to upgrade a part. And derive merge pretty much allows you to make a new part with the same level and abilities of an existing selected part by merging it together with a material part, so you can make a tourney head out of 2 different parts if you wanted to. In this game, there are different rarity of items that are very similar to the generic MMO style of classification, such as white, green, blue, purple, and gold. So purple would be epic and gold would obviously be legendary. All of these parts have the same base stats, but only differ in the amount of upgrade slots that they are allowed to have. New game modes have also been added, such as challenge mode and bounty hunter. Challenge mode is basically a timed wave spawn of enemies that progressively get harder. Harder as in multiple god Gundam spawn at one point and god figure you down, with each having a chance to pretty much one-shot you. Bounty hunter is a mode where other players' Gunpla are uploaded and you may fight up to 4 of them for a chance to earn their parts. This mode is by far one of the fastest ways to earn GP in this game, which by the way is the game's main currency that is used for upgrades and purchases from the game shop. In addition to new game modes, we now have SD buddies to help assist us during missions. SD Gundams in this game are not playable. They can only be used as an ally. These guys can be assigned their own combat modules, be painted, it even grants you their own special EX attack ability once you max out their partner link. They are fairly useful missions until you get near the end of the game. They for some reason start to drop like flies. You will earn a handful of them your first time through the game and can earn the rest once you beat the higher difficulty missions. In regards to the story mode, it's literally very much a build fighter video game. There are 3 different difficulty types on your first playthrough, which are casual, normal, and hardcore. After you beat the game, you will unlock extreme difficulty and then new type after you beat the entire game on extreme. I haven't bothered to play the game on new type yet, but judging from many players that have and gave their experiences and inputs, I believe it's pretty much a mode that you play if you want to kill yourself. Master grade parts are earned after game completion as well, which I found to be a real bummer since I was used to Breaker 2 and you got master grades like midway through the game from what I recall. In regards to the basic story information, you help out a girl named Misa that you meet inside of an arcade after you complete the introductory mission. After Misa sees you play in your little mission and she is just to complete all of your skills and abilities, she wants you to help her, and so you both set off on a journey to compete in multiple Gunpla competitions to help revive the Ayato shopping street. A critical word of advice I have for many players is to upgrade your parts. I cannot stress this enough. I managed to bullshit my way through the first half of the game, but it starts to get pretty bumpy if you don't upgrade your parts, so please make sure you do that when it becomes available. The story offers different mission types such as Battle Royale, in which you fight against multiple enemy ace teams, Core Assault that has you defend your own team's core for the first level and then you seek out different cores afterwards. Then there's Monolith Demolition, which has you kill multiple monoliths scattered throughout every level in the mission. And then there's also Team Deathmatch that pits you against another Gunpla battle team, and then you guys simply go at it. Another thing that may have seemed at first like a good idea to the dev team was the choice to put in an exact copy of a map that was in Breaker 2 instead of offering something new. I don't know, man, I really don't feel the nostalgia considering they haven't really given me a reason to feel nostalgia. other than letting me play on an old map. There are also mobile armors that you can fight in the story modes, such as the Big Zam, Neo Zeong, and even the Obsolus. Pretty much every mobile armor in the game seemed mediocre to fight except Neo Zeong. The reason why I say this is because Neo Zeong felt incredibly enjoyable to fight because it offered a dynamic change and disabled your weapons once it activates the rings on its back. In addition to that, it even comes with its own amazing cutscene that is complemented by Gunpla fans' favorite band, Back On. The other mobile armors were just there and you pretty much killed it and moved on with your day. There really wasn't any type of special entrance that made the player become struck in awe, nor did the fight leave any good memories after you beat them. Probably the only exception to this was the fight against the SD Gundam boss, Satan Gundam. I believe he comes from one of the SD shows a while back, and I actually had a bit of fun fighting him as well. What made this fight truly memorable was the fact that fighting him is actually really fun. He sends a bunch of electricity towards the player and you have to step dance to even get out of the way. And even when you try to melee him, he just knocks you back. And even when you actually kill him, he's not actually dead. He just transforms into this thing called, I believe, the Dragon Gundam or something like that. And you pretty much get rickrolled and thought you were done with the mission, but you were certainly not. The entire game definitely will take you over a handful of hours to beat if you take the time to enjoy everything that it offers. The cutscenes as a whole for the story mode have a duration of a little over an entire hour combined. Unfortunately for me though, I couldn't understand a single word that they were saying because it was all in Japanese. This is where the good part comes into play though. You can actually buy the Asia version of Breaker 3 and enjoy the entire game with decent English translations. It gets even better though. If you're watching this review and own a Japanese copy and want to have your entire game in English, just buy the Asia version. Your save carries over. So overall, if you're looking to buy a Gundam game that hasn't earned the reputation / status of complete shit in Japan, then try Gundam Breaker 3. I think you'll ultimately enjoy it because of the added replay value and also because of the many newfound open doors in the customization department. Thank you for watching my review of Gundam Breaker 3. If you guys have any questions about the game or would like to share your experience from playing the game, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you'd like to, you may also share this video to your friends to help them make the decision to buy this game if they're unsure. The next game up for review is Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs Full Boost. Probably one of the only games I've probably put the most time in my life into, really, and I've been wanting to do this for some time now actually, and I honestly think it would be a great way to give the game the publicity it deserves.
Thank you.